To start, this is Walt coming, coming to you from the Vamp podcast, and on behalf of Mike Lafferty, who could not make it today due to unforeseen circumstances, we are going to be testing the Supers chase rules. So if you're not familiar with Supers, it is the role-playing game owned by myself, where we try to get as close to the panel and page pounding action. That is a lot of alliteration of comics, and try and bring that as close as we can to the table. So today we're going to be talking the chase rules. We've already got from Lala Twiddle the gnome. She's going to be driving the gnome cart. Would you like to introduce yourself, Alice, and tell us why you're awesome, and tell us about the gnome?
Sure. Hi everyone. I'm Alice. I help run the Supers Red Discord, and I've been playing role-playing games for well over 20 years. I like to get my hands on every role-playing system I can. I play whatever system I can. And I happen to love Supers. I love heavy crunch systems as well, but Supers is actually one of the lighter systems I love because there's enough of both ends. As for a gnome cart, I was really stuck. I had like 16 different ideas, and I decided to do something fun. So I decided to make a gnome cart for today. I will be driving a little go-kart sized Aston Martin that has mechanical limbs that can come out from the undercarriage, and my weaponry of choice will be shooting live gnomes.
That's cool.
Like lawn gnomes?
No, like D&D gnomes.
we don't judge.
Actual gnomes were injured in the production of this vehicle.
Well, there was one gnome that was injured, but it wasn't related to the game.
We don't talk about that in polite company. Next, we have Brandon. Brandon, do you have a vehicle of choice? And please tell us why you're exciting.
I am not exciting. My exciting better half has already spoken. I'm Brandon. I'm frequently the GM for the group that I play with. As for the vehicle, I was trying to think of a cool vehicle to do, and I went back to growing up as a kid and a game that I used to goof around with. I can't say we ever actually really played, but spent hours and hours designing stuff from, and that is Roadhogs. It's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles supplement for basically you take the role-playing game of TMNT and you smack it with Mad Max really hard, and there you go. So I'm going to be piloting around what I call the Razorback, which is inspired by the picture on the front cover of Roadhogs. It's going to be basically this, slapdash, not fully functional tank with a bunch of pig men working on it and wielding lots of guns, pink mohawks, all that sort of fun stuff.
You can never have enough pink
mohawks.
Gnomes
have a proprietary right to pink hair. Especially pink mohawks.
And last but definitely not least, special guest star, co-host, and all-around badass t-shirt wearer, we have Nick Garber.
Hey, how you doing?
Sir, what is it that makes you exciting, and what vehicle are you piloting today?
What makes me exciting? Oh, man.
It was those late-night full-contact Scrabble tournaments, wasn't it?
It was that, and late-night D&D games, and just overall gaming in general, and creating mediocre but action-packed comic books. No, they're not mediocre. You should check them out if you ever feel like you need to read one.
Absolutely. At Apogee Comics, more alliteration. I can't stop. What are we doing? What are we doing as far as a vehicle today?
Today we have the Night Fury, which is the vehicle of choice for our upcoming comic book, Corvid and Sparrow. This is Corvid's bike. It is just the damn thing, best damn thing on two wheels ever. Oh, did I mute you? Something's muted.
No, it's probably me. I said, "Alrighty," and I blame all of the drugs because I have a cold.
Oh, you have a couple of weeks ago is the back. I mean, you're just falling apart, man.
But my wife said the same thing, and she is now in the market for a newer, younger model. She's hoping for she's hoping for one with a nicer car. Supers has some pretty cool chase rules, and there's two types of chase rules. There's the standard rules, which pretty much operate like the regular game, and the other side of the coin is we have Search and Destroy, which is our friends from Stone Mountain Games, and they basically took the Supers rules and hit it with the three Bs: Born, Bower, and Bond. So the chase rules in there are very dynamic. And I apologize, Alice, that you didn't get those books. I don't know why they haven't gotten there yet, but OBS is it's a thing. Did you receive the PDFs?
Yes.
No, we haven't actually.
Really?
So yeah. We got 3 of the 4 the special character PDFs, and I was looking through them. But yeah, and I forget what they're called right now. But that's the only thing. So sadly we haven't had a chance to look through stuff.
We will have to rectify that situation sooner than later.
Walt actually sent the books off to somebody totally unrelated to you, and they're kind of wondering why they get this bounty of Supers books. Speaking of which, I do want to mention it is the GM Day sale on drive-thru, so if you do want Supers, I believe that it is covered in that sale. So you should head over to drive-thru RPG and pick it up at a discount if you're interested.
Dear Lord, you keep this up, we're going to have to put you guys on the payroll.
Well, you kind of with the fact that you apparently sent me a bunch of books, which I haven't seen yet, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel so bad. But then Brandon's like, but you're doing stuff for them. It's kind of getting paid. I'm like, okay.
There you go. All good in the hood.
So I shouldn't feel so bad. Yes, but the books haven't arrived yet, so we'll see.
All right, so let's see what we got going on the unnecessary roughness. If everybody looks in the chat, there is a link there that says engage here.
Yep.
That link will take you to Roll20. Nick, have you ever used it before?
I don't think so.
You might need to create a small profile, but it shouldn't take long.
Shouldn't. Not with my vast Phantom Hawk skills.
Right. So just a quick kind of intro to the world of chase scenes, and we'll do a couple rounds with normal Supers mechanics, and then we can transition to the Search and Destroy mechanics, which are not too much more involved, but it just adds an extra layer to the gameplay. So in the regular stuff, it pretty much operates just like character-based play, and you can use certain things like your speed and whatnot to get away from opponents. Search and Destroy goes just a different, not a different, but adds an extra layer to this. So when you're in the middle of a chase with the Search and Destroy rules, you can use a vehicle-based aptitude or quality to facilitate the chase. So if I myself, being the lead car, the one that is being chased, and you guys are the chaser, we have the vehicle initiative, which, just like regular mechanics, we get to do what we get to do. We roll initiative, see who goes where, and then from there, we're going to roll chase action. So the chase action is separate from the standard regular actions that go on. So if you're just driving normal cars, the chase action is going to be most of what you have. So I'm going to roll a vehicle-based aptitude or quality. You'll roll the vehicle-based aptitude or quality. If I get a success above you, my range is slightly increased, which means I'm pulling away from you. If you get a success above me, your catching your speed increases, or you find a way to catch up to me, decreasing my range. So then, uh-oh, something happened? Is there something going on? Did I blow something up?
No, Brandon's wondering if you're echoing on my end. You
I
are not.
believe that it is through Roll20 that I have his audio feeding in a second time. So
Yeah, you guys need to go into the settings section of Roll20 and tell it not to receive or receive or broadcast audio and video.
Yeah, that was me. I'm the asshole. I fixed it.
Okay, cool. I'm like, I
Sorry.
blocked it out already, so that's why I wasn't.
It is new to me. I was like, oh, what is this?
No problem. But apparently you did have a profile because, oh wow, you're still echoing. You need to reload after you go into settings and do that. Do the block.
Hold on.
It's the cogwheel, and then you scroll down and you see I want to broadcast to others. Set that to nothing. I want to receive from others. Set that to nothing. Then hit reconnect.
Filthy no good so-and-sos.
You've obviously been in Roll20 before because you already had an account though. So
Yeah, I don't remember. Must have been a while ago.
All right, there we go.
and then
All right,
once you reconnect, you will no longer be broadcasting echoes for everyone.
Okay, you guys still getting the echo from me, or?
Nope.
Okay, good. Then it worked.
Yay! Technical difficulties solved.
Edit
So-
that out, please.
So yeah, back to the chase. It all now that we have everybody here, we can assign roles and give you guys vehicles. So let's see. I got a couple vehicles on the side for you guys to look at. You just let me know. I don't really have a hogmobile. Maybe I can put like an orc on it or something like that.
Ooh.
Well, I thought Brandon did build one.
Do you have one you can load?
I don't have any images, if that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me hold.
If you need images, I don't have one.
Hold on one second. I think I can make this work.
Sure.
So
And by the way, my Aston Martin is red.
it's red.
Yes, it's a red Aston Martin go-kart.
I don't think I have red loaded.
Don't need to
but
be red. I'm just letting people know.
I can put a red marker on it. That's not a problem.
Whatever color you have is fine.
Let's see. We'll go there.
We're playing with Hot Wheels today. Virtual
Yes,
Hot Wheels.
Virtual Hot Wheels.
I like it.
So there we go. So we're going to put a red marker on this car, signifying that it should be red, but it's not going to be. So how about in the comics? What are some of the most, while I'm setting this up, what are some of the most iconic chase scenes in comics that you guys have had?
There was in the New 52 Batman Year One. That there was a pretty, I don't know, call it iconic, but it was a pretty exciting chase scene with the Batmobile. Now I might have to go through my long box, but we don't have that kind of time.
I didn't remember one in the New 52 Batman, but I did remember an interesting one in the New 52 Batwoman.
Oh yeah, there were some good ones there.
Hit it.
Yeah. There were some good ones. Unfortunately, right now, all I see are images flashing through my head because the stylistic Batwoman was very different than some of the others.
Oh, and there was also one in with Black Canary in the New 52 Justice League, where she
Which
was on
one
like
was
that
that?
Harley. She was in a Harley, or on a Harley. I'm trying to remember. I just because it was Jim Lee, and I just memorized everything he's ever done in his entire life, so I'm a fan.
There's one that I'm trying to remember that that's pretty iconic. That's many years old, and it has to do with the Flash chasing. And I'm trying to remember what car it was off the top of my head. But in my mind, I've got this very iconic image of it, and I just don't remember it.
Well, luckily I have the Justice League Unwrapped by Jim Lee, so I'm flipping through that, see if I can find it.
Cool.
It's just all his pencils. So.
To me, I always have two that I think of. One isn't comics itself, but it's the old Justice League cartoon part one of The Brave and the Bold, and it's something I just recently referenced on the Discord in the discussion. And it's the beginning of the episode starts with Flash just being a bore at the local diner, and two girls are totally unimpressed with him when suddenly a vehicle careens into the diner. He rescues the girls and then starts chasing this big, U-Haul truck type thing around the city. And just one of the guys starts shooting at him. And it's a great scene, and it's one that I think that a lot of role-playing games that go for a very, let's call it a realistic approach rather than a storyteller, so a simulationist, I guess, versus a narrativist approach, has a lot of difficulty with. And it's just a great scene because normally Flash would, if you come with just like he can run this fast, blah, 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 he's going to be able to outrun that vehicle without any problem, get onto it, and really disable that driver. But in some of the other games, you can make it a more interesting scene, and that's something that actually appeals to me about Supers, is that they can do that. The other one is a 4-part Wolverine, and I don't remember if it's a miniseries or not, but it's a 4-part from like the 80s, and there's a scene, I believe that he's in patch mode. And so he's not trying to, he's not trying to, suit up and all, but he's just like in San Francisco or Madripoor or something like that. And the local gang is after him and the people that he's with. And it's just a really cool scene. And he's trying to hide his powers. And so at one point he's like leaning out of the vehicle, and then he pops claws because he can't be seen as he's cutting into the underbelly of the other car and such like that. And I don't remember what issues it's from specifically.
That's pretty groovy. All right, so if you guys look all the way over to the right of the map, we have 3 vehicles. Purple for Brandon, a red marker on a silver Aston Martin for Lala, and then Nick, we got a yellow fuselage motorcycle for you, just so that it's a little easier to see on the map.
Okay.
You guys should be able to move those markers.
Oh, there I am.
Awesome. Truth be told, you might have a little better luck if I was purple and Brandon's the Aston Martin then. Purple's more associated with me in general, and Brandon can't see the difference between blue and purple.
Aha! Do you want me to switch those up right now?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Sure, we'll stick with this then.
All right, so
purple and pink start with the same letter, so the Mohawks remain.
Brandon's colorblind, so there are certain colors he mixes up.
Oh, my brother, same thing. Made for a real fun eye test when he went into the infantry.
Oh.
Do you remember those, Nick?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, he managed to squeak by. I think he cheated.
Oh yeah.
I know of somebody that was in Vietnam. They would ride around in the choppers. They were colorblind, and so therefore they could spot through some of the camouflage that would be used, where the normal vision people weren't able to see through it like that. So
it was like his superpower.
That's right.
All right, so we're gonna test these rules out. We're gonna play with them. They're super easy. And we're just gonna go on the fly. So we'll do a quick. Yes.
Do you mean that they're supers easy?
Oh my God! Please take a competency die for your excellent portrayal of my game system. All right, so we're gonna do a quick run through of a chase, and like I said, the first couple of turns we will go through and do. We'll just use the basic supers rules, and then from there we can progress and use the search and destroy rules. So the basic setup, we have a guy, because I love the book Nemesis, we have a guy in a white Audi. He's wearing a white villain suit, and you know that he has just stolen the parts to create a programmable trigger for a bomb. And we need to stop him from getting to his site or a place where he can offload this programmable trigger for his bomb. And so you guys have taken pursuit. If you want to move your, I'm going to be just highlighting where you guys should all be staged. Right there, you should see a yellow flashing circle. Yep, just in there. So Go ahead, Nick. You can stage it. Yes, there we go. Excellent. All right. So this is all D6. So if you're not familiar with the interface, I know a couple of you are very familiar. Oh no, he found the D6. So for those listening at home, there's on the magnificent Roll20 app that is all web-based and easy to play. There's a dice roller on the left-hand side of the bar, so it's a great way to facilitate dice inside of the game. So our guy, the Nemissary, because I don't want to get sued by Mark Miller. And he's driving his white Audi. He's got the trigger, and now we're going to roll for initiative. So, who is driving the gnome mobile, the gnome cart?
Lala Twiddle's driving the gnome cart. She
Excellent.
is a short little gnome with big, poofy, pink pigtails.
Does she have a reaction?
Well, I didn't actually stat the driver out because you didn't tell us to. The car has a reaction, though.
What's the car's reaction? Let's use that.
The car's reaction is 4.
Excellent. All right, so please roll 4d6.
Sure thing.
I need a pencil. All right, so we got Brandon's initiative is a 16. Driving the Razorback.
Oh, no. That was just
Oops.
me playing with the dice roller.
Oh.
That was accidental. It was meant to be D6s. Let's try that again. There we go. The second roll is correct. The first one's D4s by accident.
I'm at an 8.
I'm not seeing you guys in the feed.
You gotta
That's
go
weird.
Scroll down.
Scroll down, go to the chat bubble and scroll down.
Yeah, it's
That's weird.
frozen for some reason.
Ooh, you need to reload then. That happens to people a lot.
If I had a nickel for every time my wife has said that happens to other people a lot.
there.
There we go. All right, so Lala, you're at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Lord. All right, Brandon is at 8. And Nick, do you have a role in there for your initiative? So if you look at the character sheet for either Corvid or the bike, you can use either. Look for the reaction score.
Why do I only have that one sheet? Oh, delays. I know
So
you
the
sent something.
Yep, the Night Fury's reaction is 4 dice. So if you wanted to use that,
Yeah, let's do that. 4d6.
Yep, and Corvid's is 3 dice. So the bike is actually a little faster.
Okay, so we'll use the bike. Or do I roll both?
Nope,
You
just
roll
one.
one. Choose
Okay.
whichever one.
Roll the bike.
15. Dear Lord. All right, and for the sake of transparency, the Nemissary gets a 12. All right, so 15 has it.
18.
18.
I have an 18.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You were higher up on the page.
By
18.
3.
All right. Gnome. The gnome cart.
Yes, the gnome cart.
All right. So you have the Nemissary rocketing down the street at a dizzying speed. What do you want to do for your chase action? I'm sorry. We're going to use the regular supers rules first. All right.
Sure.
So using the regular supers rules, you're just going to be moving to try and catch up. Or do you have any type of attack that you'd like to level? Right now,
Yeah,
you are within range of certain attacks. So what would you like to do for your action?
I'm going to use super weaponry 4, which by the rule of foo, in this case, I shoot gnome guards. So a mass of gnomes shoots out of my car and hurls themselves at the Audi, blinding the windshield, grabbing on, and starts pounding on the car. It's
All I
very
can think
loud.
of is the scene from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, where he's talking to the bullets.
Oh, let's
All
roll
right, so please make your roll.
sure. That's 4d6.
For a 12.
Yep. And for some
Okay.
reason, it rolled a 4 of a single die by accident before that. Sorry about that.
That's
I think
okay.
it was when I was pulling the panel up.
He is going to use his reaction to try and evade that
Evade the gnome party.
the gnome
The gnome guards attacking
the
him.
gnome swarm.
Yes, the swarm of
Um,
gnomes.
and he gets a 20.
Mm,
So
he dodges out of the way.
the car swerves up onto the sidewalk.
That's not safe. That's
No,
not safe.
definitely not. People who are just enjoying their day or walking or doing whatever, they're dodging out of the way. He hits trash cans. There was a dog that gets scared and has to hop behind a mailbox before it pees itself. And gnomes litter the street, slamming into signposts and light posts.
Lots of screaming.
Lots of screaming. Nick, we have initiative 15. You're up.
All right. Let's see here. Okay. Super weapon. Oh, wait.
So the bike has a couple of little fun things that it can do. It's got a super weapon. It can super leap with a boost, and of course you could try just plain up catching. Using the super running to try and decrease his lead on you guys. The super weapon is the chakram launcher you were talking about before.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what the hell that was. I should have wrote that down.
I have it as like rings or discs or some sort of projectile, like a.
Like a battering. Yeah. Okay, we should probably catch up to the thing. So, and I need to be at 80 miles per hour to do the super leap anyway. So, I don't know what to roll.
It's so.
Let's just try and catch up. So let me see if I can decipher this so I know what to roll. Is it a 1D, 1D6?
For what are you what do you want to roll?
The super running.
Super running is 4D.
4D. Okay, so let's try and catch up to this guy. And here we go. So 14.
14. All right. So are you going to try and slam into him? Or are you going to try and just catch up to him?
I'm going to try and catch up to him so I can engage other weapons.
Gotcha. All right. So go ahead and he's not going to try and defend against you just catching up. So go ahead and just move your token right up to right beside him or right behind him.
Right behind him.
Excellent. So now you're driving down the sidewalk too, passing the peeing dog?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. He is going to try a little bit of super running on his own. So to do a super leap, and he has a super leap very similar to you. So he is just going to boost. And so he is going to move one zone ahead to signal his one success that he gets against the difficulty of pulling away from you guys. And now we have the Razorback.
Ooh.
All right, well, these two sound like they might be the heroes. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I'm the gang that this bomb was stolen from. Since we're just a bunch of hoodlum mutant pigmen.
A bunch of miscreants.
That's right, hanging off of a tank, way too much guns. You know, just think Rocksteady and Bebop style.
I love it.
I'm for it. I'm for it.
All right. So, Walt, I need you to know, I thought we were going to be doing more of a Mario Kart thing where we were all battling it out and such. So
this works for me, brother. Hit it.
I went with taking 4 dice of bad luck because I was like, well, that's probably like I could give 1 die to each person and say, use my bad luck when it matters. So, but since you're in control here, there's 4 dice of bad luck for you to wield against me. I am going to go ahead and can we move and take other actions, or is it just kind of one or the other at this point?
You're considered moving as along the regular super rules, you're already moving. So
Yeah.
you don't have to signify two actions. The only time you wanna use one versus another is when you're trying to catch up. So you would just use your vehicle's athleticism, speed, reaction, something like that, in order to try and catch the other car.
Okay, so the in the picture of the Roadhogs cover, they have this turret up on top, and that's kind of like what I took for my super weaponry big gun. It's
Does it say big gun on the side?
That's yes, and it plays AC/DC when it fires.
Hell yeah! Shoot to thrill. It better be shoot to thrill.
No, it's Big Gun from the Last Action Hero soundtrack.
Damn it, it's not. I mean, it's a good song, but I like it. Okay, I'm in.
All right. So my super weaponry Big Gun is an AoE. It is extra effect versus reaction. It is both unreliable and uncontrollable.
Oh dear God!
It's gonna take me out. Watch.
Yep.
Well, it might get the dog, So let's go ahead and roll unreliable and then uncontrollable. Okay, so we are currently uncontrolled. And I think that one is that it does nothing at this point.
Excellent.
Is that correct?
Completely ineffective.
So let's see. Complications, uncontrollable.
Scrolling.
Yep, it's not going to work as intended.
Okay.
So.
Oh yeah, no. This is the 2-die one. This is the fun one.
So it's not going to work right now. So you have a jam right off the bat.
Unreliables did not work. This one was the uncontrollable.
Yeah, the uncontrollable. So you uncontrollable was 1 die or 2?
It is 1 die. I have 1 die of each. So on the 8 on the chart,
you got an 8.
Yeah.
So
that's
wrong target.
If the power was being used to target someone other than I was waiting for this one to happen. I knew this one was going to go off on me. If the weapon was being used to target someone other than the wielder, it affects the wielder instead. If the power was being used to affect the wielder, it affects a random other character. So while all the the pigs are trying to load up their big gun, and they've got a hilariously Mario-sized bullet that's going in there and such, they load it up and start to fire it. The thing drops out the back, and the shell goes off inside the vehicle. Grunt, the driver, screaming at them the whole time. So I guess I get...
Who is the wrong target?
The wrong target is me.
Oh. So you're going to take the brunt of it? Go ahead and actually roll the attack.
Yeah,
it's a 4D,
okay, so
right?
that is a 5-die big gun attack. And
oh my God.
I will go ahead and use my armor to roll against it. So 19 versus 15.
So 19 was the
19 was the attack.
So how are you going to take that damage?
So
carefully.
Right next to the gnome, and some of the pigs are like screaming at hit the gnome next to them, and just firing off their guns and all randomly. And all of a sudden, the Lala looks over and just sees this gigantic shell dropping down into the base of the tank and such, blows up, and all of a sudden a few of the pigs fly out everywhere. And I'll take that as a negative to my fortitude.
All right, so -1 to the fortitude?
-1 to the fortitude.
Excellent. So we're rolling around back to the front of initiative, going back to Lala and the gnomes.
Okay. Something I did forget to state last round. My super weaponry is persistent. Not that it mattered. He threw it off, but we'll have to remember that for the future. So this time, so he's a zone ahead of me, huh?
And he's going into this next round. Everybody move up 1 space, so you guys should be right about here.
Please move Brandon. I can't, and he's AFK for a second.
Gotcha.
Oh.
So he's here. Nick, you were pretty close.
That works.
All right.
So
So
I'm going to try and super leap over the building next to us, over the corner, and try and cut him off in the front.
go for it.
Cool. Because then I can. So unfortunately, that's only 2 dice. Actually, you know what? I'm going to use one of my 9 uses. I'm going to use my limbs to basically crawl myself over obstacles to try and get around and in front of him instead.
Oh, darn
Okay.
it. See, when you said Super Leap, I was coming back to ask. So is the gnome car
Oh, it has
Super Leap?
jets. I was about to say the jets
Oh,
pop out.
I was wondering if since you shoot gnomes, if you're like firing gnomes up to the top of the buildings with ropes and that they're like pulling you up.
That is awesome.
That would be awesome. So the mechanical limbs shoot out, and well, that would explain why Super Leap only has 2 dice, Brandon. I think your idea works better. That explains why there's only 2 dice. So that's a 16 on my mechanical limbs coming out and crawling us over to try and cut him off.
Okay, and the maneuver difficulty for doing that was a 12. So you get a layer of success. So where did you want to super leap or to tentacle yourself to? So all right, so you're going to be on top of the building, or are you going to be in front of him to try and cut him off?
I want to be in front of him, and they didn't actually put. There
There we go.
Snap.
Good deal.
Yep.
Oh, he's going to have to get crazy.
And then I do a quick swing around, and I'm facing him.
I hope this vehicle has armor.
No, my vehicle does not have armor.
Oh, this is going to go
But I have
so
a
bad. Nick, you're up.
All right.
So Corvid is riding the Night Fury.
Right on the bad guy's butt. Let's see here. Well, I'm probably gonna. How close am I? I'm pretty close to him, right?
You're pretty close.
Let's use the super weapon. Let's try and slow this dude down a bit. So that is the chakram is super weapon 2D.
Mm-hmm. So 2d6.
2d6, and here we go. Oh, okay.
A 6. He's going to defend with his armor. And he gets a 21.
Yeah, that was ineffective.
So it bounces off the back of the car, hitting this building off to the side, shatters a bunch of windows, and then comes to rest beside an office worker that looks very, very stunned that this just happened. Now we have his turn. He's going to try and super leap over Lala, but he has to beat a 16 to do it.
Okay. I was gonna say if he's gonna attack me, I have a defense. Not armor, but I have a defense.
All right, yeah. Let's see him try and go for an attack. So he's going to use the reinforced bumper as a ram to try and smack into you.
Okay.
And going at this speed, he's going to get an extra die. He gets a 14.
Okay. I have something called Gnome Illusions that has a reflection quality, meaning suddenly I have multiple cars that he's trying to figure out which one to aim at, and he might ram himself into something else, reflecting the damage onto him.
Hit it.
Come on. 15! I beat him.
Damn.
And it reflects.
He's going to try reaction to resist. No.
So apparently he thinks my car is in front of a big fire in front of a fire hydrant, and he rams into the fire hydrant instead.
Ramming into the fire hydrant, there's a massive ping of metal hitting metal because apparently this supposedly plastic car is not made of what it's supposed to be. The fire hydrant tumbles into this building, which is like a combination building. In the lower level is a Starbucks. People writing fledgling novels, going for triple soy calf lattes with an extra pump of foam, go scattering in multiple directions.
One attention-seeking comic book artist.
They go scattering in multiple directions as the fire hydrant tumbles in, and a geyser of water. He's going to be here. Geyser of water passes in this area right here. So now it's covering the street. So anybody who passes through this zone is going to have to make either a reaction or an athleticism check versus a 2D hazard. So this is a 2D hazard on your control.
Okay.
I
12.
I got a 12.
Maxed. Okay.
So
So
go
you
ahead.
can actually leave a marker on it, so that way we know if you
Yep.
want. Okay.
So go ahead.
Nick, I have a very important question for you. Is he wearing a signature camo hat?
Who, me?
The comic book artist, the attention-seeking comic book artist. Is
Oh
he
yeah, I
wearing
mean that's a trademark.
yeah,
It's how you
exactly.
find
His
Mason
trademark hat. Okay, cool.
Yeah. His trademark hat and his caramel macchiato.
I don't judge.
They're delicious. I don't care.
I'm expecting like a Steve Jackson Munchkin set coming out with trademark-seeking camo hat and stuff like this now.
Okay, so Brandon, go ahead.
All right. Well, they're all seeming to get away from me. So, actually, first of all, we need Sal, the mechanic, because what do you do when you're hurt? Sal! I'm going to roll my vehicle's regeneration. 3, it does not trigger. We are going to go ahead and try and get closer to them. Now, we have a 3-die athleticism, but the problem is that we have the trade-off of power through, not around. And we also have our super running of 2 die. Straights are great, turns are iffy. So both of them are not really geared for this situation where he did something unconceivable to us mutant pigs of turning. We did not.
I love the movement names.
We did not anticipate this at all. So the athleticism is better to start with. So we'll go ahead and roll with our 2 dice. We'll go ahead and use our competency die that we were given to go ahead and see if we can catch up on this. So there we go. We've got a 10.
And the catch-up roll was a 9. So
Yes!
that will put you, I assume, through this building here.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. Like I say, power through, not around.
The bottom of that building is all like glass storefront. So you crash through, mannequins go flying. There's a couple of tortured screams as salespersons go diving out of the way. I assume you snort, giggle, or make some sort of remark as you power through.
Well, the way that I see it is that this, dingy, beat up, pseudo battle tank. You've got tank treads on one side, wheels on the other. Nothing about it should be working. The comic book panel, you see it crash into this glass storefront. Just, massive explosion of the glass. And then as it comes out the other side, since you mentioned the mannequins and all, it's now covered in all this designer clothes and such. And the windshield wipers are needing to clear stuff so that Grunt can see out the front and all.
Oh, my God. All right. So you bash through, and you should be right beside the gnome cart right when you come out. So you can go ahead and move your token right there.
And they're just gesturing at you, out of the way! Ah!
Bumping Ludacris and on the radio. Move.
All right, now we go to we're going to be rounding a corner, so everybody's now around the corner. Nick, you should be a little bit closer. You should be over here. Excellent.
Let me turn her. There we go.
Yes. All right. So the vehicular mayhem is just piling up as you guys kind of get into a funnel point right there. Just remember that. Let's see what we got. So right here, you have a hazard in the form of water. So as you move through there, you're going to just have to do a control check with a difficulty of 9, just so that you guys don't careen into a building, lose control, slide out from under your motorcycle. So go ahead and move. You guys should be just coming into this intersection right now at the top of the next turn.
Not all of us?
You guys are almost right on top of each other at the end of this turn, because Lala's gnome cart slid in through a bunch of illusions, which are still active, so you guys probably see them and are trying to actively avoid them.
Or run them over.
So that adds to that little area right here of mayhem, because you got the water spraying, you got Lala gnomes littering the roadway with tons of carts and stuff like that. You have flailing pigs hanging off of probably a dual 30 or 50 cal on top of this huge bacon tank, and then you have Corvid trying to maneuver in and around both of them as you guys are going. So he's moved up another space. You guys should, like I said, be coming into this intersection. So with a difficulty of 9, I just need a defense roll using either your reaction or athleticism, moving through that hazard of the water, the Lala gnomes, and the mannequins hitting the street as windshield wipers take high-end thongs from Victoria's Secrets and throw them into the roadway.
Oh, I'm going to use my reaction because that's a 4D.
Go for it.
Quick question: is this considered last round or this round? Since my athleticism was used to try and power through.
This is the new round. So go ahead.
20.
Damn.
11.
I'm used to piloting around a lot of mayhem. I'm a gnome.
And 12. So you guys skid and slide and start to lose and regain control, and starts and fits, and then kind of normalize your handling as you guys get back into that intersection. All right. So
I think I'm still making the DC, but it's actually a 10 since that's athleticism, so I only get to keep 3.
You still made it. Yep, because it was a 9 difficulty. All right. So the armored car with the Nemissary. We're going to now transition from the standard rules, which kind of just keeps the speed constant and keeps it moving and stuff like that. And then we're going to go into the search and destroy rules, which at the end of this, I will make sure I send everybody the PDF copy. You guys, both Lala and Brandon, you guys have physical copies coming as well. But did you want a copy of this too, Nick?
Yeah.
John Gibbons' artwork, it's so gorgeous. Every guy who's pulled the trigger and who likes games should absolutely own a copy of this. Right. So we have first thing did everybody re-roll initiative?
Nope, not yet.
All right, so let's re-roll initiative.
That's a D
15 this time.
That'll be your reaction.
My reaction. Okay. So that's
the better of the 2 reactions that you found earlier.
Okay.
So Lala's at 15.
Mm-hmm.
Brandon at 9. You at 15. And 13 for me. Okie doke. So the 15s have it. Dealer's choice on who wants to go first. Lala or Nick?
Go ahead, Nick.
All right. Okay, what am I rolling for now? How I'm going to jack this dude up?
Now, just remember, in Supers, it's not so much just what your powers say that you can do. It's what you say what you can do with your powers. So you have this entire environment. Think of this like a video game where where everything around you is usable, destructible, whatever. So even
Okay.
something that doesn't seem like it would be of use, like if there's a mailbox, you could use your chakram launcher to knock it into the way. If you have, because you probably have other cars moving in and around, right? If you ask me if there's any other cars, you could, jump in the path of another car, causing that car to get into his path, making him change direction. Because from what you guys can tell, he's trying to get this away from you, and his best choice to do that would be probably the landing pad that's up here at this hospital.
Ask not what your powers can do for you, but what your powers can do for the story.
Please take another competency die.
Man, this guy's stacked. Okay,
Right?
well, I want to head him off at the pass. Just looking at my environment, and
Okay, the pattern that Nick is blowing that air out is making me think of the hamster dance, because Brandon's been hounding me with that playing recently. So now I've got the hamster dance stuck in my head again.
sorry.
Not your
So
fault.
sorry.
It's not your fault.
I'm a noob, and I breathe heavily into the mic.
It's fine.
We don't judge.
Here. It's a good thing.
Walt judges you secretly and has this huge black book of every little detail.
No, he
never
hits me
tells
up
you.
privately and judges me face to face. There's no secretly about it. He's like, "Hey, man, here's all the things I judged about you." What other vehicles are in that intersection that he's coming into?
I'm glad you asked, because we're going to make them have an appearance right now. So you got a couple taxis. You got a truck. You got another truck. There's a van.
I have a friend who is actively trying to watch our feed on Twitch right now, and we're all muted because Mike is muted on his end, so he has muted all of us. So the past whatever long we've been running, nobody's been hearing us.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Zoinks.
All right.
Like, where did everything go?
Yeah, I got you. So we have a cab entering the traffic pattern right there. This truck is turned around and entering from this way. You have a truck here. It's kind of hard to see because it's gray. We can put a token on it and make it a little more visible. And then we have this van that is parked. Looks like it's you have a van that is parked. Looks like it's making a delivery right there. Also hard to see, so we'll put a token on that. So you have some things in the traffic pattern that looks like they're going to get to the intersection either before or as the car barrels through.
Okay.
So there are other vehicles in the traffic pattern. And let me, while you're telling me what you would like to do, and you have other stuff around like telephone poles, mailboxes, trash cans, people walking on the sidewalk, that random cat that Mrs. Brigsby hates seeing on her stoop. So
let's see here. Okay, so I got this trash truck that's going from north to south on a collision course. If he doesn't stop. I think I'm going to go with the chakrams again. And I'm going to use them on that dump truck that's on a head-on course. I'm going to try and take out the tires so it stops and blocks off that path.
The one up top right here?
Right there, yeah.
Okay, so you're going to launch those past him and into the dump truck, trying to get it to careen to block his path?
Yes.
Hit it.
All
right, so the dump truck doesn't look like it's actively evading. So you just need to roll to let me see how bad you're going to mess this thing up.
Super weapon 2d6. All right.
Hit it.
And a 3, so it... Ouch.
Well, he's not actively trying to avoid. So you block. He skids to a halt. right in the middle of the intersection, crashing into this van right here, causing a huge pileup. So you're basically blocking him from going straight, and at his speed, he's going to have to do a control maneuver to try and keep him from basically barreling into something.
I really wish I put more offensive weapons on this thing.
That was the first 15. Lala.
Okay. I am going to. Well, I've already successfully made it through the water, in theory. So.
That's right. You should be up at least right there.
Okay. And let's see about turning my facing a little bit. It doesn't want to right now. That's okay. I am going to throw out my gnome snares, my ensnare.
Please take a competency die.
Those are the coolest things ever.
So it is going to shoot out a bunch of gnomes that have nets and spears in their hands, and they are going to try and grab onto his car and pull it to a stop. Basically, it is persistent. I have a couple complications on it though. Oh, actually, no, I dropped the other one. Oops. I am going to make one quick minor adjustment.
Okay, you are defending against a roll of a 20.
Okay. I'm going to make one minor adjustment. I'm moving complication from something to. Okay. It is going to be uncontrollable and loud.
Hit it.
So, not unreliable, uncontrollable. So we need to roll a d6 first to see if it goes off. And it goes off.
Excellent.
And now we're going to roll 4d6.
Do the gnomes yell out stuff like "wee" as they're flying through the air?
Wee! And you hear from the car, "Gnome guards, attack!" Oh, I rolled bad. I rolled a 10, so I did not get it.
Okay, so gnomes fly through the air, yelling "wee" as they go. All I can think of is the pig from that Geico ad.
Wee!
And then,
Thanks, Mrs.
A. They land in the center, so they overshoot the car, landing in the center, and basically all hold up their nets like bullfighters, adding to the confusion, mayhem, and destruction that is about to happen at this intersection. So it looks like he's going to try and round the corner. He is going to, because now we're at mine. He is going to stop dead. As he stops, there is a slick of like black goo that comes out from the car right before it ignites on fire.
Okay.
Very Spy Hunter of you.
Yes, thank you. I am a huge fan of Spy Hunter.
I love Spy Hunter. I was thinking of doing Spy Hunter for my vehicle.
Oh, it would have been amazing having Spy versus Spy, but then I couldn't actually say that and not get sued. So we have gnomes on fire in the middle of this intersection. You have a 2-car pileup blocking this. And he's going to have to make a reaction roll to dodge out of his own attack with a difficulty of 12. The reaction, and he succeeds. So with a 17, he makes the corner, but on the next round, he's going to have to avoid the oncoming cab. That brings us to number 9. So you're coming up to this intersection, Brandon, and pigs screaming, machine guns flailing, bits of high-end clothing trailing off your mirrors. What happens?
Well, first of all, just to answer on the chase scene, I did find it. It's Wolverine number 12, part 2 of 6 of the Gehenna Stone Affair, and it did take place in San Francisco for my chase scene. That is iconic to me. And second, where am I actually? Because I hear that I got past the water trap. Damn golfers.
Damn them.
Aye. Well, it looks like we're going to have to get up onto him, but he is still in range. So we're going to go ahead and just add to this confusion. We're going to try a second shot with the big gun. So we have that unreliable. It does not go off. Does uncontrollable go off at that point or not, Walt?
No, it does not.
Okay.
So if it doesn't go off, then uncontrollable because nothing happens. So another.
They're trying to load and fix everything and such, and Grunt's just yelling at them as he's driving around. Some of them are pocketing ladies' lingerie apparently instead of actually doing their work and such. A couple of them are flipping through the Victoria's Secret ads that picked up on the truck and such, and not really paying attention to what's going on.
Let me guess. It's stuck to the windshield, and the guy actually has his arm out of the truck, turning the pages in the windshield.
Yes, exactly this.
I'm literally picturing it moving with the windshield wipers.
I hate being an artist sometimes because that is just chaotic in my brain right now. I'm like visualizing and I'm like, oh, I gotta draw this. I gotta draw first.
So we have the Nemissary car up ahead, and we're going to roll for the search and destroy catch roll. So that is going to be any aptitude or vehicle quality that allows you to decrease speed. Super run, athleticism, reaction, anything like that. So we're going to roll one versus another, and to see if you catch or decrease the. All right, so that is for Brandon. That's 14.
14 because I can only keep 3.
Okay.
Hey, Mike's here.
He's muted. He is otherwise engaged, so he is spectating. We have roll a reaction or whatever. Hey, Mike.
Hey, Mike. The Banff podcast is muted to audiences. I have a friend who was trying to watch and said everything was muted.
Yeah, apparently there's some technical hurdles for streaming your YouTube live to Twitch. I'm reading about it now on Reddit, so we'll get it figured out.
All right, go ahead, Lala, for a catch roll.
Okay. So I am going to try catching this time using. Well, let's try the gnome shooters again. I am going to.
Well, this is just a roll to see if your lead, if the lead's vehicles. Yeah.
Sure. That's just a reaction then.
Any reaction or speed based 17.
There you go, 17. I'm sorry, I got a little bit distracted.
That's okay, Nick.
This roll is simply for your need for speed.
Please both take another competency die. This is getting expensive.
I'm like slow on these comments. Stuff that I should have been picking up on. I mean, Top Gun reference, obvious. Damn, I'm stupid. Anyway.
If you start singing Kenny Loggins, I'll definitely hit you with a competency die to use at your discretion.
Close your eyes.
Nope, wrong one. Wrong one.
I'm not singing Danger Zone.
All right, so go ahead and just give me any reaction-based roll. So for the Night Fury, it could be your reaction, it could be your super running, it could be your athleticism, however you want to roll it.
I'm going to use a reaction, and I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm just going to roll it.
A 9.
What the shit, man?
And he's going to roll his reaction, which is 11.
You need to take combat driving lessons from gnomes.
You open up a school and I'm going to sign up.
There's your competency die, Nick.
Or it's going to be there in class going, I don't know why I'm here, but I'm getting taught by gnomes.
So we have Lala should be right on the vehicle's tail. Followed by Brandon. And then Nick, you're in the trail.
Story of my life.
That's okay. You just rear guard. It's fine.
Yeah, Alice, I just added an audio capture device. Can you ask your friends if they can hear us now?
Sure, I'll try. I'll text him right now.
Well, it makes sense. You know, most of the weapons that I put on the Night Fury were defensive and facing backwards. You know, the chaff, all that stuff. So
Right. Okay. So now the Nemissary car is going to increase its speed and try and move around this taxi. But just keep in mind the taxi is going to try and evade as well. So it's going to be oncoming. So you guys now have to give me another reaction roll with a difficulty of 9 to get out of the way. So he's going to try first evading.
I have a question, Walt. At
Yes,
this point, I'd
please.
like to ask, is there any way I could use my competency die to affect my reaction and use my limbs to lift the taxi over us so that the taxi won't get smashed by the 3 cars chasing the Audi? I am trying to protect the taxi driver.
That is amazing, and I'm sure this man will have tons of stories to tell the local news when he sails over a car full of gnomes, then pigs, and then a hot chick on a bike.
So I'm using my competency die then. I blew it without taking the use of the actual die roll, and there's my reaction of 15.
15, and I'm going to say that's a difficulty of 12. So you easily accomplish that and create the gnome bridge.
Okay.
So
I've got 7 charges left.
Excellent.
Of my limbs.
All right, 7 charges left. All right, and then Brandon, you're right behind this guy. Just give me a reaction roll to avoid the oncoming taxi with a difficulty of 9.
Sure. Can I use damage shield instead to blow it all to hell?
The taxi?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Go for it.
Awesome. So
Difficulty
she's
of
like
9.
lifting, trying to get it out of the way. We're like, the big gun's like, we're going to crash. A grunt from the front just calls out, pointing at it. And all the pigs just turn with their guns and start
Gnomes are
unloading.
screaming.
So that is...
I took the heroic action. He's taking the villain action.
Well, he is trying to get his trigger back.
Yes, he is.
Because who knows 11.
Ooh, not a great one.
But still semi-effective. So as Lala's tendrils go underneath and lift the taxi, it kind of dips nose first. As it sails over the gnome cart, which is significantly smaller, your Razorback Hogmobile basically shaves off the engine compartment, leaving the driver of the taxi screaming in terror, even though he's totally safe. So bits of engine parts, pistons, tires go flailing and scattering around the roadway, which now increases the difficulty of dodging out of the way by 1 more. So a difficulty of 10 for Nick to get through this area. So go ahead and roll for me your reaction.
I have a question, Walt, on that.
Yes.
Did Brandon need to use did I even need to use that competency die, or does Brandon need to use a competency die to have done a different action? Because we both asked for alternate actions, and I offered up a competency die. He didn't. I'm just curious for system.
No, you can totally take it back.
Okay.
For story's sake.
Good to know.
And then so Nick gets an 8. You start to wobble, lose control.
Sounds about right.
How would you like to take the bit of damage that you're going to take from this? Now, in Supers, unlike games like Dungeons and Dragons, you don't necessarily have to take the damage to as a physical thing. So it could be like, oh my god, and instead of taking damage to Mike, Corvid could lose a die temporarily of her composure or her will. You know, as like a, oh my god, or a piece of the road hit her because you're not in an enclosed cabin.
Right.
or it could ding off the bike and do a little damage to the bike. However you want to take it.
More likely, I mean, realistically, she's probably going to take the damage. Some to the bike, but mostly to her. If it's a piece of roadway, so let's do the damage on her.
All right. So coming from her fortitude or her reaction.
Her reaction, which I don't have that sheet.
That's 3D.
3D. Okay.
So it'll be down to 2 temporarily.
Okay. So do I roll a 2 or a 3?
Oh nope. It's already now. You just right now. The next time you have to roll a character-based reaction check,
okay,
you'll just roll at 2D instead of 3D for the moment.
Okay. I'm gonna roll this then.
All right. So that brings us to the car. The Nemissary car is going to use a little bit of super speed and is going to get up to this intersection and start to make its turn. Brandon. Oh, he's away. Oh, he's back.
Here.
Hold on, I thought this was the top of the round that we just did, and so Alice would be first, I thought.
Oh, my bad, because we were doing chase rolls. That's right. All right, so top of the round. Alice, you're up.
Okay, top of the round. So I have safely gotten the taxi over us, laid him down with my mechanical limbs, and now I'm going to say, how far? So he's 1 segment ahead of us.
Yes, he is.
Okay, I am going to chase full force forward, and I am going to release another volley of my weapon. I'm going to shoot gnome guards at the wheels, and they're going to grab on, and they're going to start tearing them apart.
I like it.
Like you do. Hit it.
Okay.
So he's going to defend with his armor.
And they are loud once again.
So you need to get a 10.
I got a 10. I got a 14, in fact.
Nice.
His wheels start getting torn.
So like a flock of squirrels caught in a batch of tires, the gnomes get tangled, tattered. They start ripping up tires. At his speed, the car he was doing a sliding turn, kind of like drifting around the corner. They're going to bring him to a halt, but it's not going to be pretty. He's going to start flipping over. That brings us to no, I'm sorry. That brings us to Nick. Nick, you're up next.
All right. So that car's slowing down. The Nemissary.
Yep.
Okay. I want to head this dude off at the pass. So how fast is my bike going?
You guys are all probably going about 45, 50 miles an hour because the streets are kind of tight.
Right. So I can't use super leap. And I can't.
If you pay a competency die, you can get a clear path, get it up to 80, and do super leap in this round.
Okay. Let's do that. Because I want to jump onto that building and get to the helipad.
Go for it.
All right. Okay, so how do I roll it?
So you have super leap.
Okay, which is 3D. And then...
So you want to do a 3D, and you want to beat a difficulty of 9.
Okay.
Based on the bike's performance thus far.
And here we go. Please don't fail me. Yeah! Awesome. About time.
So go ahead and put yourself on the helipad.
Sweet. And I'm going to, since most of the good weapons are in the ass end of the bike, I'm going to aim it this way.
Okay. That would be Nick. And then he's going to do a control roll to try and resume reaction. Oh, there we go. No, it was an 8 first. So he fails his control roll. So Brandon, you see Nick's bike, Corvid, basically swerve around everybody, do a wheelie, and super leap through like the second floor of a building. you know she's probably going to the other side to cut off at the helipad. Lala has a burst of speed in the gnome cart, and the gnome fires the gnome launcher, getting gnomes and nets all tangled up in the wheels, which causes the cart to slide sideways on a drift, and then the tires catch the roadway and the car starts to flip. So what are you going to do at this point? You're probably right around here.
All right. We are going to go ahead and try our big cannon one more time. And it's area of effect. So what we're trying to do is catch our spy car and the building as the second target to blow us a hole to get through to the helipad.
Go for it.
All right. So will it even happen? Yes.
Yes.
Will it do what I want it to do? Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so this is a 5-die extra effect versus reaction.
Oh my god! All right, so he's gonna roll his armor.
Okay.
You need oh god. So that's 2 things of success. All right.
As he's flipping over, and then all of a sudden, boom! You know, the cannon finally goes off, smashes into him.
All I can think of, Nick, is Carl Gustav at this point.
Oh, the 84mm recoilless rifle. The hammer of Thor.
The round impacts the underside of the car as it's flipping. The car hits onto this median, which has like all sorts of shrubbery and stuff like that, lands half on, half off of it on its side.
And squirrels everywhere.
Birds and squirrels everywhere. It finally comes to rest on its base, looking like it's pretty hurt. You did some serious damage to it. On the next round, he's going to try and reorient himself. And Nick, you see a helicopter coming in.
Ooh, buddy.
So, Brandon, are you going to start maneuvering through the building here to get toward the helipad?
That is my intended destination.
Now that you made a giant hole when this thing went off?
Yep. You know, into the garment factory, workers everywhere, body parts and gnomes mixing together.
So you guys are blocking the helipad. You have the car half on and half off a planter. One of the rims one of the mag wheels is kind of spinning, but it's off kilter, so it's like doing that like weird wobbly thing. You have the gnomes that survived the attack having a smoke break and drinking coffee outside the car. You have roaring pigs barreling through the building on its way to the helipad, and Corvid is using her bike as a blocker to the helicopter actually landing. You see the guy get out with his hands up. He's in like an all white suit with a big like circle with like a line through it. You don't know if it's a 0 or if he's protesting something or if he's protesting nothing because there's nothing in there. And he gets out and he holds up his hands, and you see in one of the hands he has a detonator, and that is where we'll end it for right now.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun.
Right? So what do you guys think about the chase rules?
I like them. I mean, as someone who doesn't play these types of games a lot, fairly straightforward and easy to kind of adapt and get on board with.
It's kind of weird because no real context, so just basically put a chase together and let you guys play through it. I can tell you this: the gnomes and the pigs added a dynamic I definitely did not plan for. So, how about you guys, Lala and Brandon? What did you guys think of the chase rules?
What did they bring that Supers didn't have already?
As far as the search and destroy,
Yeah.
the the lead mechanic. So we only did like 1.5 rounds of it, where so the idea here is a more realistic thing. So with the standard super rules, everything's based off of the speed and distances that are listed in the speeds. So you're kind of playing that as you go. I can move this many squares versus you can move this many squares. I'll eventually outpace you. What the lead mechanic does is it factors in obstacles in the roadway, turns, um, um, any type of hazards that happen as you guys are driving. So when say you have a slower car, like you look at something like the Bourne Identity, you know, he's basically driving in a busted up Peugeot, you know, and you know, he's outpacing and outmaneuvering these other cars because of his skill, his talent, and that's what that lead mechanic does. So like for example, Nick's character driving the Night Fury, her driving skill of the character is 3D. The Night Fury itself has a reaction of 4D. So when you're doing the lead mechanic, a slower, less agile vehicle has less time to affect catching somebody like the Night Fury during the game, because somebody with a lower reaction isn't going to be moving as quickly. And that's what that adds to the game. It adds a new, like, if this was all tight turns and corners and stuff like that, but if we had longer straightaways, like you might see in sections of like Boston, when you leave the city proper, that's where that really plays into it, because now you only have so much time to chase that vehicle if it's got a higher reaction, a faster super run, that kind of thing. So, but if you guys wanted to, we could do another round during another session and mix it up with different vehicles. The next time we could actually do, if you guys wanted to, we could do like an X-wing chase down a trench run of Star Wars, or we could do horses with Amazons on the back, kind of like Wonder Woman style. So, or to celebrate the new impending comic from Apogee Comics, Dusty Tortillas, we could do a Zorro or a horse type race. Where people on horseback are chasing other people on horseback and firing at them indiscriminately. So totally up to you guys if you want to do that again. But this is the basic chase rules in a nutshell. And oh my God, gnomes and pigs.
I had a lot of fun. I think that it works very well with the super system. It's still just as fluid. There's not a lot of there's not a lot of hitch up. If you know the mechanics of the base system, you have no problem playing this. I like it.
Awesome.
To me, sorry.
I was just saying I had a lot of fun.
Okay. To me, it was the chase. I saw where we switched and what you started to do more, but it also fed really well in with there's illusions everywhere. We have a water hazard. You guys are going to need to roll. And so it felt very similar to that. What it makes me think of, which is something that I read a long time ago, there's a Fate game called Legends of Engelair, which I guess is I think it's a European comic of medieval knights and wizardry and such. And in their game, they had a very similar thing where let's not make the chase rules just about speed, because that's never what a chase is determined by. Who can go faster, unless you're just in a wide open space, isn't going to be the important thing. Let's make it more dynamic. And so we're, racing down the cliffside on these tight turns. What is your action that's going to influence the others, And so you make your, chariot racing roll or whatever it is, and set up what you're trying to accomplish and force the other drivers to go through that same kind of thing if you're in the lead.
Oh my God. Chariot death battle. This is something we have to do online. Specialized chariots with like a modern twist. Like imagine Star Wars style chariot races where we have robotic horses and stuff like that, or big alien horses. And the chariots have rocket launchers and machine guns, and you can have a gunner on the chariot. This is something we have to do online.
Oh yeah.
Or we could do the superhero episode where we're all teleported to the combat planet of some sort. I'm being careful not to state things.
That'll get us sued.
Hey, battle, separate word, world, if you will. There's a space between those two worlds.
Exactly. I will not use the word war, but we're doing the arena battle in chariots.
Getting sued by DC Comics or Marvel will be the best press possible for us.
No such thing as bad press, my friend.
Excellent. So, Mike, anything before we call it a day?
No, sound like you guys had fun. Sorry I had to miss it, but my slave driving manager wanted me to go to a really exciting meeting. So thanks for being able to fill in for me.
Excellent. No worries.
Well, we're sorry we missed you. And
cool. Next time.
And Mike, if you need help, if you need my help in any way, like just sitting around and talking to you or whatever, to troubleshoot your end of whatever's going on, let me know.
I think I got the audio worked out on Twitch, but we should probably do some troubleshooting at some point before our next broadcast just to make sure it actually works. So, all right.
If you need me for help, I'll do it.
Send you an email. Thank you.
Sweet.
Well, you want to do the official sign-off since you were driving?
Sounds good. So on behalf of the BAM podcast and Supers, the comic book role-playing game, revised edition, I just wanted to say thanks for everybody for coming out. Lala, Brandon, Nick, and of course Mike, thank you so much. And we'll catch you next time on the BAM podcast. And